PowerPoint. It's 7:38. Actually, it's now 7:44 in the morning in Addis Ababa, and so this was like good timing. We thought. Oh, sorry, T, I haven't got the microphone on. We thought this was good timing, and it is good timing because nobody's going to follow at 4 o'clock apart from us, all of us. And so we'll just sort of keep the conversation going. It had to happen, right? We had to have one thing go wrong. We couldn't go through that whole day with that perfect timing and get to the end and have it finish on time. And so we'll just keep your eye on the screen. If you see these two things, come on, we got the PowerPoint there and everything ready to go. But so can we put it back to you first in terms of like what you see is like the themes of the day for you, what you'd like to follow up on, what you've learnt from today, what connections you saw. We've talked a bit too in conversations outside about that movement from the local to the global. We've talked about that as being sort of one of the impetus factors in terms of one of the reasons why we sort of got together with this idea that you were doing research in Sweden, we were doing research here, I was doing research in Asia. Marek was doing it in New Zealand and around there, and then how do we even meet you? You must have met him.
I have been doing quite a lot of research in Indonesia. So
I
met him there.
Oh, he was in Indonesia with.
We were keynote speakers together.
With Vina.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh wow. I don't know. I think quite a few know Vina Adriani. She wrote that. Remember, Jean, that amazing article on neuroscience. Remember?
Yeah.
You found that for me. Yeah, it was amazing. And you see, this is the global connection. The point of global childhood is doing your research and then making all these amazing connections and then growing from it and seeing things from a different perspective. I mean, we'll put it to you first, because I think Amy and I've got a few ideas, but we want to put it to you first. Who would like to go first and say about the themes, the connections, the possibilities that they see from being here today? Always everyone goes quiet. This is why I'm always thinking of all the silence. Oh, thank you, Auntie. I'm going to call you Auntie Kathy now. All right, Catherine. Thank you, Catherine.
So I think that the diverse perspectives on childhoods today have been really interesting. Oh, thank you. And, as Kate and Sarah talked before about the pluriverse. Yeah. So I think everybody's worked hard to present a view that is not a binary, because I think that's what mostly, creates things that we don't need in early childhood, because it's all about a binary, what you can do, what you can't do, what you're good at, blah, 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 all that. So I think that the multiple, as Latour would say, not this or that, the and, is an important thread for us to keep thinking with.
And what are you going to think about?
Oh, what am I going to think about?
Sorry.
Well, so when Amy and I were doing our little postcard, I'm a mind mapper. I have an idea, I've got to go like this, which we managed on the postcard to a degree. and Amy's like, yeah, but what are we saying? I'm like, I don't know, I'll just figure it. Yeah, so I don't know. I probably have to sit down and do a little mind mapping.
Yeah. Well, that was the point of the day. Today was supposed to be the catalyst for conversation.
Yeah.
And sort of and think about there. Because I think sometimes when we have gatherings like this, whether they're symposiums or conferences or what have you, we go away overwhelmed. But this was supposed to be a catalyst, hopefully not feeling too overwhelmed, but more optimistic and looking at possibilities.
And I think this idea of pedagogy as concept. And so, what are the concepts that bring us together or offer an and? And thinking about, what are the concepts that we encountered today that we might be able to think within our own context.
Yeah, actually that's quite nice, that and, because that's sort of like a positive, here he is, a positive way of looking at, rather than being overwhelmed. Oh, did he come back?
Yep, he's here. Hi, you.
Eyueil, can you see me? Can you see me? And hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Nicola. How are you?
Oh, good, good, good. We wondered what had happened to you. Is it 7:49 your time?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah. We can put your PowerPoint up, I think. And if you can talk to it, Eyueil, I can introduce you, and then if you tell me next slide, I can go on to the next one.
Okay,
Is that
okay.
okay with you? Because Annette and Andreas are here as well. Marek's not here. Can you see?
Hi,
Marek couldn't come because
everyone. Hi, Amit. Hi, Andreas.
Marek couldn't come because he's starting work here in like 2 weeks, and he was here last week to do dean things, and so he couldn't stay on. So can you see your slides?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So is it okay if I start to say who you are now?
Yes, yes, please.
Yes, so Dr. Eyueil Abate is an esteemed assistant professor at Kotebe University of Education, where he serves as the director of the Institute in the University of Education. He has a career spanning 18 years in education and made significant contributions at various education levels, from primary education to university instruction. He got his PhD at Addis Ababa University, specializing in curriculum design and development, focusing on the challenges and needs of refugee education. His research delves deeply into the complexities of war, conflict-related trauma affecting children, conflict-related trauma affecting children, allowing him to bring a vital understanding of these pressing issues into his educational practices and curricula. And I think today you're going to talk about how your work at the university training teachers to do that, aren't you, Eyueil?
Yes.
Right. So you want to get started?
Yes, yes, please. Thank you, Nicola. Thank you, everyone. Good morning from our country here in Ethiopia. It is an early morning, and I hope in your time it is late in the afternoon. Uh, Thank you very much for providing me the chance to present uh, our work. This research is conducted by me and Professor Adula, and the reason why we are conducting this research is because there are several migrants who live in IDP camps in Debra Brahan, and Debra Brahan is 132 kilometers far from Addis Ababa. These individuals who live in the Debra Brahan IDP camps came from different areas or different parts of the country, and the one common thing among them is they are victims of the crisis related to war and conflict. Especially, there are individuals who came from different part of the country fleeing from the northern conflict that was conducted between the federal government and TPLF. And there are individuals who came to this IDP camp from different parts of Oromia due to the security concerns uh, in those uh, in those parts. So regarding the general or the global context of crisis, as you may know, conflict and crisis are rising in alarming rate, and the same appears here in Ethiopia, especially since the past 5 to 7 years. Uh, Many parts of the country is hosting different kind of conflict and war, and that contributed to the rise of IDPs in the country. And now Ethiopia is hosting the largest number of IDPs, and we believe there need to be certain kind of response to the IDP situation in order to ensure the peace and development of the country. One of the intervention area is education, as you may know, and as the children or as the community is living in an emergency situation and in one intervention area during emergency is education in emergency. I and mm, in different literature, education is considered as a life-saving intervention than a developmental activity because education is a tool to provide or give hope for IDPs, and hope is a main thing in order to enable children and their parents to continue life. And education is a right, and it is stated in various legal frameworks, international, regional, and national legal frameworks clearly indicated that children have the right to get to access education, and primary education is indicated to be compulsory and free. So children living in IDP camps are have the right to access this right, but in reality there are many challenges. So we would like to understand how far the teachers teaching the IDP students are trained, and we would like to understand uh, we would like to understand their academic preparation, their academic competence, or their qualification and experience in order to treat or teach children suffering from various traumatic experiences. So we believe we have summarized the role of teachers teaching in education, teaching in IDP camps or in crisis context have can be summarized into this chart. They provide academic support for the children. They could impart life skills and uh, could share their experience to the students. Uh, they have the role in identification of or conducting need assessment in order to identify the support need of the children. The teachers have the role of caregiving because as these children are suffering from severe traumatic experience from the crisis, then they are in great need of care. So the teachers also have an extraordinary caregiving role in emergency situation. Additionally, the teachers are again counselors, as there are no or very few counselors in each IDP schools. Then the teachers simultaneously serve as a counselor beyond the academic aspect for the students in order to treat them from their traumatic experience. Additionally, teachers need to have knowledge or referral knowledge on referring students who need additional or extra support from various stakeholders. And in order to do so, the teachers need to have adequate knowledge, and the knowledge need not only be about how the concept of referral, but they also need to know for whom they need to refer the students. The other key important role of teachers in IDP camps is leading and managing. They have they need to have a leadership role and managing students. So all the sum of all these activity we believe contributes to the trauma rehabilitation and support. Uh, while we are preparing to conduct this study, uh, the key important aspects that are raised throughout our research is first the issue of mainstreaming education in emergency in teacher education program. Uh, as the Ethiopian education cluster and the Ministry of Education as well as universities indicated that so for so long the teacher education program is detached from education emergency in a situation where Ethiopia hosts nearly 1 million of refugees and around 4 million IDP. So this is uh, this is problematic, and the candidate teachers who are engaging in teacher education lack the skill and knowledge of teaching students in crisis and emergency contexts. So that's one aspect, and the other one is there is a massive or there is an abundant indicators for the gap on the recruitment, induction, and remuneration of teachers teaching in refugee and IDP camps. For instance, teachers teaching in refugee camps, there are two kind of teachers teaching in refugee camps, and they are called local and incentive teachers. The local teachers are those who have graduated from national universities in teacher education, but as I mentioned earlier, lack the skill and knowledge of teaching students in crisis, and they also have the knowledge and skill on intercultural students, multicultural students. Additionally, the incentive teachers, on the other hand, the incentive teachers are selected or recruited from the refugee community, and they have no any formal. Most of them have no any formal training on teacher education, and most of them are below. Most of them have attended below high school education, so that has a problem. And the remuneration and the incentive package provided for both teachers is noted to have a complaint by the teachers, and it serves as a reason for a high level of turnover rate. And the the third one is resource, legal frameworks, and collaborations related gap. Uh, as I mentioned earlier, starting from the remuneration package, the schools have a severe resource gap to deliver the required knowledge, the required skill and knowledge for the students. Uh, in most cases, in IDP campus, the education is provided in tents where there is no appropriate seat prepared or offered for the students, and the teachers have no teaching material provided, and they are left by themselves to arrange their own teaching material. So these are the problems. And the legal regarding the legal frameworks, the Ethiopian education policy and the general education curriculum is criticized for giving less attention for the students in crisis. Uh, so the core issues which we would like to raise in this study is the we would like to identify, or we would like to examine the qualification and training of teachers teaching in EIE schools. And again, we have the interest on examining the stakeholders' involvement and focus for education in emergency, in pre-service and in-service teacher training programs. The emphasis can be seen from the training side. The emphasis can be seen from availing resources. And the last one is we have the interest to examine the process of recruitment, induction, remuneration of teachers teaching in AIE schools. As I mentioned earlier, our focus is a refugee camp located or based in Debra Brahan, and the name of this refugee camp, this IDP camp, excuse me, is Winshet IDP camp. So, as per the previous objective, our objective is collecting or gathering evidences on the training and competence of teachers, as well as examine the role of teachers and their contribution to help students rehabilitate from their traumatic experience. This is our conceptual framework. As you can see in here at the center, our central focus is examining the efficiency of teachers in helping students to recover from the traumatic experience that the students have, and we believe this can be achieved through the pointers listed in the different circles along from the middle one. So the study is a qualitative single case study which is conducted in Wenchata DP camp, and the data collection tool is I think there is an interview. There is no, it's not indicated in here. Interview, observation, and document analysis serve as a key data collecting tool for gathering the required information. The participants in this study are teachers, and the teachers are the one who are our main focus. Individuals or officials from the Ministry of Education, concerned officials from donors, donor organizations that participate in this research are EDT, Save the Children, and DEC. Faculty members from universities and district level education heads from Amhara and Oromia region take part in this research. Debre Birhan city and Winchat IDP camp is located in Amhara region. That's why we selected officials from that region. But the reason why we also included officials from Oromia region is Oromia region is found in a nearby distance from Winchat refugee camp, so the IDPs may have the chance to join education infrastructures both in Oromia and Amhara regions. So when we proceed to the findings, the study found that the emphasis given to education emergency in the teacher training program is very
Oh,
low.
it's good. Yeah, it's good. We can hear you. It just went out for a little bit.
Okay, shall I proceed?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah.
It's
And regarding the findings, one of the findings which we have got in our study is the emphasis given to education in teacher training program is very low, and it starts from the curriculum. The curriculum have I can say no emphasis for the education in emergency, and the teacher training program and the practicum activities ignore the crisis in Ethiopia and the competence needed to teach in education in emergency. So while again we found that curriculum revisions and curriculum changes that are being conducted recently in the reviewed universities lack to provide emphasis for education in emergency. So this is one of the most critical finding which we have get through our study, and this implies the teachers teaching in emergency hosting in schools that are in the middle of crisis have lack the skill and knowledge of teaching children who are suffering from trauma. The above result is strengthened by the next finding, which is the research result indicated that the education is provided by underqualified teachers with low motivation. As per our discussion and engagement with teachers, most of them have discussed that or noted that they are not interested in their current profession and current duty as a teacher in EI school. So most of them accepted that they will leave the job or they'll leave their current duty if they have got another opportunity. One slide back, please, Nicola.
Oh, sorry. I thought we'd gone to the next one.
Again, the other most important aspect is the recruitment remuneration system of teachers in schools is found to have a problem. And this contributes to the above factor, which I mentioned earlier. One of the critical reason or the core reason for those teachers thinking of searching for another career is because the remuneration and retention mechanism placed by the government and donors is inappropriate, and the salary package provided for these teachers is very low compared with other professions or other professionals. Despite the problems or the gaps that have been identified earlier, there are also positive aspects which we find in our study. One of the positive aspects is there is a promising effort by governmental and non-governmental organizations to improve the mindset of teachers. In most cases, we have found that there are efforts to change this mindset by providing trainings and conducting different advocacy activities. Again, there is a positive effort by the Ministry of Education. The reason why we have got to this finding is because the Ministry of Education issue a circular and directive to offer or to avail the necessary resources to IDP and refugee schools. And the ministry also developed a guideline and mainstream the data that is generated from IDP and refugee schools into the education management information system. So this means anyone or any interested body can easily access data related to IDP and refugee schools from education management information system. There is one additional thing, one important aspect, and we believe it could positively influence the current situation is the Ministry of Education introduces a directorate in its division that dedicates to education in emergency, and we also find this as a positive aspect. So the implications of the study are there is a great need or a great there is a need to mainstream education in emergency in pre-service and in-service teacher education program in order to provide the necessary support and care for millions of children living in crisis in Ethiopia. The next one is placing efficient recruitment and remuneration system is very important in order to retain the teachers. Those trained and skilled teachers are leaving the schools, searching for a better opportunity. So unless there is a change in the recruitment and retention mechanism, then we could not provide quality education and quality support for those students. The third one is there is a need to collaborate. There is a need to develop collaboration and advocacy strategies. The collaboration between concerned stakeholders is very loose. So there needs to be a mechanism to strengthen and bring it a formal level and make it more productive in its intervention. Again, there need to be a workable mechanism to advocate the need to place trained and qualified teachers in IDP and refugee hosting schools. Most importantly, as IDP camps and refugee camps are located in peripheral areas from urban areas, and in those areas, the role of community leaders and elders as well as religious leaders is very high. Then working with community leaders elders and religious leaders is very important in order to enhance the situation in those schools. So these are the implications, I think.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for attending.
Yeah. Eyueil, that was fantastic. Thank you for giving us that amazing overview of that huge project. And in terms of when Annette and I did the keynote for you way back in July, I think last year, when you had all the Minister of Education and everything there, that huge focus of education being in crisis, and the education in the emergency was very at the forefront of every person there, from the Vice Chancellor to the Minister of Education. But we've been thinking about you, Annette, Andreas and I, over the last few days, because we realise that since January the 20th, of course, and just after that, most of this is significant, because most of this is funded by USAID. Is that what you call it? USAID. And of course, that funding has it been cut? Has it impacted on you yet, or is it about to impact on you? What's the situation with that?
It is definitely impacting several projects that are running in our country, and even I can tell you one specific experience which I have experienced today. Today we are planning to organize a training for our teachers on education in emergency in collaboration with the Ethiopian Education Cluster.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, they're just trying to sort out the screen here.
Okay.
We're trying to see your face a bit bigger. Nearly there. I stopped sharing.
Just thinks it's still going. That's all.
Ah, that's weird. So so you still got potential to continue your work. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it. We got it. Now you're on a big screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's severe, but you're not desolate.
It's very severe, and
Yeah.
I am about to tell you one specific experience which I have encountered in my personally. Today, we are planning to organize a training for our staffs, our faculty members, who are around 25, in collaboration with the Ethiopian Education Cluster on education emergency. Unfortunately, on last minute notice, the trainer who is assigned to provide the training to our teachers notified me that she would not be able to attend the training as they have got a call to make a meeting related to the budget cut and the mitigation strategy this afternoon at 2 p.m. Tom, it is affecting different projects and different activities.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry, I misunderstood your first part. Then, yeah.
Yeah, and as USAID is one of the major donors for different projects in Ethiopia, several projects are running out of budget, and several projects are being shut down.
Yeah. What about the work with the Lego Foundation that was linked to that, wasn't it?
Yeah. I can say I am getting an information of not only the Lego but several projects, I can say.
Yeah.
Especially one of the most devastating thing in here is the USAID providing humanitarian assistance for the people living in crisis, and for those who are in great need of daily assistance.
Yeah.
So we may see the effect not long, but in the near future, it may have a severe effect on
Yeah.
those individuals living in crisis.
Yes. I'm just asking the people in the room if they have any questions for you or points of clarification. Because if not, I can't believe that we got through a whole half an hour with no interruptions, Eyueil. Every time we have a Zoom or a conference, we tend to get cut off, don't we? This is obviously a good day for telecommunications.
Yes.
In the morning, yes. So we have to learn from this. We have to get you up early for Annette is laughing. Yeah, my colleague Kate has a question for you.
I just wanted to say thank you, but I also wanted to send a message of solidarity to you, like I did to a colleague from the US this morning. Because
Can you hear?
yes,
Can you hear?
he's
Yeah,
nodding
sorry.
away. So one of the things that we do in our research lab is to work in crisis and use the UNESCO framework for EIE. And our colleagues in climate change, just like colleagues like you in education, but in climate change education, are also impacted by USAID. So any form of crises, and I think that everyone in education needs to understand the impact of USAID and its department closing, is that the impact across the global south for any area in emergency is now under threat in terms of its research. And so I think that we all, where we possibly can, and I know that Sarah and I are already considering how to work with our climate change researchers, need to actually emphasise over the next 4 years how to partner in different ways where we can use our own privilege outside of the US to think about how to work differently together, because the EIE framework provides that for us. UNESCO supports it, and the ways that we might start to think differently about funding outside of the US, we just have to preface. Because otherwise, this damage is not 4 years. This damage is multi-generational, where this work doesn't get done and will then not get done. And we have an international framework that your work is already deeply embedded in, that we all, I think, in Australia need to utilise as well.
I mean, it's
So thank you.
Thank you, Kate. It's starting now, Eyueil, but I mean, if it goes on for 4 years, it's not going to just start like magic on the 5th year, is it? It's going to be
the devastation in Japan, in Korea, in China. Like it's the global south that is impacted by this. The inability of America to understand the impact on the world is mindful.
Yes. So, thank you, Kate. Eyueil, thank you so much again for your time, and look forward to talking with you and Annette and Andreas, and Marek's got a new person in charge in Auckland called Kiri Gold. So, we look forward to hopefully going back to Gothenburg. Yes, and Kasahun, yes. Thank you so much. Annette is clapping, and Andreas is looking happy. You take care. So do I exit this now? Do I leave? Yes, he's the last one. Do I?
Well, there's other people still.
Oh, the other people still leaving. So what do we do now? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find the logistics of this. What do we do? Eyueil, you can stay there. You can stay and listen to the. Do you want to stay and listen to the last part of our conversation? We're just wrapping up for about 10, 15 minutes. If you want to stay, you're very welcome. So we were just talking about sort of themes from today, and Catherine volunteered hers, which was very generous, and building on that. Any other thoughts from people in the collective? What about you, Annette?
Oh.
I'm picking on you and Andreas now because no one's talking.
I was
They're all stunned at the
I
end
was
of it.
thinking that maybe you should. No, I think it was a nice summary. John did. Yeah. So.
Yeah, actually from the legal framework, that was a good one. Yeah,
it was good, and also like a summary of something local, global. Thank you. Oh. So the discussions about the local global, I think that was very helpful, and we will definitely continue to think about that in different ways. And and thank you so much for this. It was a wonderful, playful, and in the afternoon as well. It's so great.
It was the perfect
the perfect position. I have enjoyed myself.
Yeah. But, I mean, for me, one of the things in terms of oh, sorry, from me again. Yeah. In terms of thinking about this, well, it sort of started thinking last June, didn't it? And then we did the keynote for in Ethiopia, and we were wanting to get together, and we wanted to sort of explore the parameters of what global childhoods would do. We did the paper, which is coming out, has been accepted in Global Studies of Childhood, and in terms of, I still can't see it, but we'll get that out soon. And we've had some new ideas about where next, and Mariana joining the group, the collective, and just exploring different things. Like Eyueil and Kasahun are very keen to have like a publication around education in crisis and the EIE, and leading that work. And I just see so much potential for your work in Ethiopia.
We are, every time we go to COP,
Yeah.
we are asked by every country in Africa,
Yeah.
literally, by ministers of education in every country
Yeah.
ask us to come. Our biggest problem with YPAR research is that it's very difficult to fund YPAR art education research.
Yeah.
So it's not just that it's art education research, it's youth-based art education research. And so we're like way down the rung.
Yeah.
So how we manage to do that, but we've done presentations with ministers from Ethiopia, Minister of Education from Sudan, and now when are you coming?
So
Rattle them off.
Well,
co-presented,
with
but
the,
we just can't get
I thought it was USAID, but you're saying it's USAID. Yeah, and with that gone, or
the whole department.
yeah. So I mean, that's not going to happen now, is it? I mean, it's just not going to happen.
No.
Yeah. But
Because that would be the funding source.
yeah, the total. Yeah, and they're doing. I know Catherine and Jean, you were looking at some stuff that Lego were doing, but I'm not sure what Lego is doing with USAID in Ethiopia. They're doing something big, but I actually thought they were, like Spencer, a private thing, but they're obviously a private company, a private entity. But I think they're actually so connected with USAID that one thing doesn't happen without the other. Because I was thinking that would be something where they could still continue, because I would imagine the Lego Foundation has got, some.
Maybe now when Trump wants to buy Greenland, then maybe the Lego Foundation will separate from.
Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. But I think, like we were hoping that today was going to be that catalyst. I'll say that again before Eyueil came on, and if it's okay with you, I will. I know most of you pretty well. I've got your emails. If you don't want me to circulate stuff, come and tell me today, because we got the 2 PDFs from Narita, and then we've got, I can circulate, there was something else, there was somebody's PowerPoint. Oh, was it, somebody said they would share their PowerPoint today. I'll go back and look at my notes, and that type of thing. And our lovely student from, our graduate student from China, Julian, is putting stuff up on the web as it comes available. T said, you're going to edit this whole day down a video into the, yeah, I know. And we had a slight with Mariana's. Yeah, I know. Slight. Yeah. He's got to work till 11. He's got to go to another one. With Mariana's, we had a slight technical hitch in as much as we've got a sound recording and Amy's face, haven't we, Amy? We thought we had it on mine.
So her face on yours.
We're going
Sorry
to
to everybody
we're
who
going
attended
to
that
promote
online.
We're going to promote a pedagogy of listening, and we're going to. We have it all. It's very quite. The clarity is quite good. So we're going to make it a podcast. Exactly.
Yeah.
But we have got Mariana's slides, so we are going to make it a podcast with the slides. But we're not going to try and coordinate them or anything. You can figure that out yourselves. It'll be a nice challenge for you.
And before everybody goes, can you please give us feedback on the QR code? It's like 3 very, very simple little questions, just to let us know about what we can do better.
Oh, look at it! 2 minutes to go, and I can you can do that, and in that 2 minutes, I can tell you that after this, there are some nibblies outside, and we're going to actually buy you a drink. So we're going to get some wine and beer, I suppose.
Here or
No, here. Yeah, we're going to, we were going to do it as a collective, but Karen and I vetoed that idea because it was going to cost a fortune. So we got the food and we're going to buy you wine separately. So you tell us what you want to drink. Karen will be standing at the bar taking your orders. Is that right, Karen? Yeah, but I just want... No, just the bar up here. But I want, like, my last thing I want to say, today wouldn't have happened without the collaborative efforts, and I couldn't do this without Amy Christensen and Karen Stevenson. They are amazing. And everyone should be so lucky as to have a seminar coordinator and an amazing woman like Karen Stevenson to distribute and organize us all. So thank you so much to them. And now, eat, drink, and be merry.